Look at this.
What is it?
The letter. While I was researching for my next feature, I came across some illicit love affair, postmarked 1965.
Dear Mr. O'Hare, you've demolished a wall around me I hadn't known existed.
Shailene Woodley and Felicity Jones, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for warming the cockles of my heart with this film. It must be nice at a time like this in a crazy world that we're living in to spread a little love with a film like this. What do you think, Felicity?
Yeah, we were just saying that actually. We were just saying what a special time. Well, actually not a special time, bit of a rubbish time, but a special film to be out in this time, that it is a celebration of connection, of truth, of what's important in life, and all those things that I'm sure we've all been looking at very deeply over the past year.
And Shailene, I've got to say, it brought back memories for me in high school, writing those love letters myself to my first true love at the time. And I'm sure it's going to evoke a lot of those memories, because there's something about a letter, isn't it? I'm sure you've received and written your very own love letters. There's something about a letter, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there's nothing like the letter. I think it's a lost art form, you know, the act of sitting down and really taking a deep breath and deciding what you're going to put on. Oftentimes, whether it's a letter or it's a postcard, you have a finite amount of room to really express yourself. And there is something about that I think forces us to only scribe what is feeling the most truthful and the most honest and the most important in those moments. And I miss it. I wish that more people wrote more letters.
Strawberries.
You have the perfect life.
And an angel's
The rich, handsome husband who adores you.
My summer wine.
Dear Mr. O'Hare,
is really made.
there's never enough time, never enough of you.
Dear Mrs. Stirling, know that you hold my hopes, my heart in your hands.
Felicity, I wonder, because this movie is done so well in the dual narrative, you get to go to, well, you don't get to go to the exact locations that Shailene did. Now, do you kind of feel you drew the short straw when it came to the casting? Would you have done a swapsy, perhaps?
I mean, Augustine kept showing us pictures of these guys on boats, on lovely balconies and sunsets, and we were sort of indoors all day in the rain in London. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely got the short straw.
But it is a beautiful film, Shailene, and I guess for you to be in those locations, it was kind of easy doing a love story that way then, perhaps, was it?
It definitely helps to be in a warm, beautiful, luxurious place like Mallorca to feel swept off your feet. For sure. There's not a lot of acting that has to be done.
What if we ran away together?
Do you have any idea what you're asking of me?
I'm afraid to love you. I'm afraid that if I let myself go, I would love you so much it would consume me.
I guess for you guys on this film, I like to ask if anything was stolen from set. Did you take any little souvenirs, perhaps?
I did take some of the wardrobe and some of the accessories because they were just, I couldn't not.
And that sort of 90s, 60s look, you don't find that in the shops much these days either.
Yeah, I wear it every morning when I go to the grocery store, farmers markets.
Super chic.
Yeah.
And Felicity, anything for you in the handbag on the way out of the set?
Yeah, I think we both were quite intoxicated by the fashions of our characters. But yeah, I took some of Ellie's hats that she wears, the berets that she wears, and a pair of glasses that I wear towards the end of the film that I just really loved.
Well, it really is a beautiful film, like I said, for this time of the world, time of the year that we've all been going through. And I think like I said, it really just captured that moment for me, thinking when we used to write letters. And I really wish, if anything, that someone who sees this film will write a letter afterwards. What do you think?
Definitely.
I hope so.
Thanks for your time, guys. Lovely to meet you.
Thanks, Clint. Have a great day.
I have to know if there are more of these.
If you think that this is even close to anything that I've ever felt, then you couldn't be more wrong.
I think I found one.
Oh my God.
I'll be on platform 2 on Friday at 7:15 p.m. Come with me, darling. Spare him a life half-lived, a marriage of convenience.
Jojo Moyes, thank you for your time and thank you for this story that has led to the film. I've got to say, I enjoyed it, maybe even shedded a tear.
Excellent.
But we won't get into that because you're not allowed to cry. But how do you sum up the story for those who have not heard of it?
Okay, it's basically two different love stories 40 years apart that are interwoven. And it's what happens when a woman in high society in the 60s falls in love with someone who is not her husband. And another character 40 years later finds some of the letters they wrote each other and decides to try and work out what happened to them and changes her own life in the process.
And a beautiful hook to hang the whole story on, the art of letter writing. I was saying to the girls only just before, I remember fondly, because of this film now, writing those love letters to my first love back in high school, and you would pour out all your emotions and they'd go on for pages and pages. I can't remember the last letter to my lover.
No. Exactly. And I've got a box of them at home as well. And then I remember when I was writing this, talking to my cousin who was only 10 years younger than me. And she said, I've never had a love letter. And it's not because she wasn't gorgeous or, desirable. It was just that people had stopped doing it with the advent of the mobile phone and with email. And I think it's really sad because, there's some, you say you can still remember those love letters. You probably have a few at home, right?
Yeah.
And no one's going to keep an aubergine emoji in 10 years' time. No one's going to keep a booty call text. None of these things are going to last. And I feel like we lose a little piece of our own history if we never commit it to paper. Yeah.
Have you had any inspiration in the mad world of lockdown for a love story?
No. I mean, I did write a short story during lockdown about Lou Clark, the heroine of Me Before You, Lou in Lockdown, which my publishers put out for free just to kind of cheer people up. But for me, lockdown kind of crushed my imagination. I think I would love to say that I made full use of all the spare time, but I didn't. I just moped around walking my dogs. So.
But thank goodness it's nearly over. The world is normally back together.
Yeah, let's hope so.
We're going to the cinema to watch a wonderful film like this, and it really is a wonderful film. It brings a lot of joy. There's a little bit of sadness there too, so take the tissues along, but at the heart of it, it's love. And thank you, Jojo, for sharing the love with this story.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
And you. Bye.
These letters, they're so rich in feeling. Now I'm going to have to know how it ends.